Am I the a-hole for refusing to speak to my cousin after she stole my baby name and mocked me for it? This is about me, 30 female, my husband Jake 32 male, and my cousin Allison 28 female. We've always been close, or at least I thought we were, but this whole thing has completely destroyed our relationship. It's about a name, but it's also about so much more than that. Jake and I have been married for 4 years, and we're expecting our first baby in 2 months. It's a boy, and we couldn't be more excited. Pregnancy has been a long journey for us. We struggled with infertility for years, went through multiple rounds of IVF, and even had a heartbreaking miscarriage. This baby feels like our miracle, and I've been dreaming about him for so long. One thing I've always been certain about is his name, Ethan. It's a name I've loved since I was a teenager, and Jake loved it too. It was settled before we even got pregnant. Everyone in the family knew we planned to name our son Ethan. It wasn't a secret. Allison, my cousin, is a year younger than me. We grew up like sisters, spending weekends together, sharing clothes, and confiding in each other about everything. She got married last year and announced her pregnancy just a couple of months after I did. It was exciting to be pregnant at the same time. We even talked about how our kids would grow up together like we did. I thought it was special. Until it wasn't. Last weekend was Allison's baby shower. I wasn't feeling great that day, but I didn't want to miss it, so Jake and I drove to my aunt's house in Naperville, Illinois, where the party was being held. Everything seemed fine at first, lots of pastel decorations, cute games, and a table full of food I couldn't eat because of pregnancy restrictions. Then came the big moment. Allison and her husband Matt announced their baby's name. "We've decided to name him Ethan," Allison said, smiling as everyone clapped and cheered. My heart stopped. I thought I must have misheard her. Jake squeezed my hand, probably thinking the same thing. I forced a smile and tried to keep it together, but inside, I was fuming. After the announcement, I pulled Allison aside. "Allison," I said, trying to stay calm, "Ethan is the name we're planning to use for our son. You know that?" She laughed. "Oh, come on, Brooke," she said, rolling her eyes. "It's just a name. There are millions of Ethans in the world. Besides, it's not like you own it." "It's not about owning it," I said, my voice shaking. "You knew how much this name meant to me. Why would you do this?" She shrugged. "Honestly? I just like the name. And I didn't think it was a big deal." "You're overreacting." At that point, I couldn't hold back the tears. I walked away, found Jake, and told him I wanted to leave. We left without saying goodbye to anyone. The next day, I started getting texts from family members. "My aunt, Brooke, I heard you caused a scene at the baby shower. Allison was really upset. You need to apologize." My mom, "Sweetheart, I know you're hurt, but it's just a name. Try to let it go." Even my cousin Erica, who usually has my back, texted, "I get why you're upset, but maybe this isn't worth ruining your relationship with Allison." Jake has been completely supportive. "It's not just about the name," he said. "It's about the lack of respect. She knew how much this meant to you and didn't care." And he's right. It's not just the name, it's the way she dismissed my feelings, laughed at me, and acted like I was being ridiculous for caring. I haven't spoken to her since the shower, and I've ignored her texts and calls. A few days ago, my mom called and said I needed to make things right with Allison because family is everything. I told her I wasn't ready to talk to someone who clearly didn't care about my feelings. Then my mom let it slip that Allison had been joking about the whole thing at another family gathering. She'd said something like, "Brooke acts like I stole her firstborn child or something. It's not my fault she's so sensitive." That was the final straw. I called my mom out for not defending me and told her I needed some space from the whole family. Jake and I have decided to skip Thanksgiving this year because we can't face another confrontation. Jake and I are sticking with the name Ethan. It's still the name we love, and we're not going to let Allison ruin it for us. But the thought of seeing her and hearing the name Ethan associated with her baby makes my stomach churn. Part of me feels guilty for cutting her off, but another part of me feels like this is the only way to protect my peace. She didn't just steal a name, she stole a piece of something I've cherished for years and then mocked me for being upset about it. Am I the a-hole for refusing to speak to my cousin after she stole my baby name and mocked me for it? Or am I justified in cutting her off? I'm torn, and I'd love to hear your thoughts.